We are back with our guest, the Wild Man, back in the studio again this week, and we'll find out what happened to him right after this.
Ballard's
And
back.
We are Ballard's back.
I'm back.
You look like the Wild Man.
Yes.
Good job.
Hey,
You did what you said you would
I
do.
said I was going to do it.
Yeah,
I did not shave.
And I wasn't.
I did not get a haircut.
I really wasn't making fun of you when I said, well, obviously you shaved. Well,
Yeah. That's all I can do. You Tommy boy? I don't grow it here or here so much, but more here. I grow it here.
So
Yeah.
do you have a haircut lined up? Or are you going to keep
A week from tomorrow, I've got it scheduled, but I don't know that I want to get it cut.
Yeah.
I don't know. You
it
guys,
does look nice. You can do the long hair.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I've had long hair before, but it's
Yeah.
been over a decade.
Yeah.
So, I'll let the audience tell me. What do you
Let 'em
think?
vote.
Should I?
Let
There's-
Rogersville vote.
Yeah.
There's a critical mass with hair like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when it's growing out, you're like, I can't do this. I can't do it. Same with
Right.
your beard, by the way, because you were talking
Yeah,
about hair.
right.
Yeah.
There's this point where you're like, I can't. And then it's like, okay. Now
right.
It's okay.
Now it's a majestic.
Now it's a majestic beast.
I don't think I could ever have a majestic beard. It's so scraggly and gross, but
I think
it's,
that looks good.
yeah, I do kind of do this.
Yeah.
But it's like I have patches here.
You've got to take some pictures, though.
Oh, I've got lots of pictures.
you've gotta have some
I
pictures.
definitely documented the whole deal. So right now I've done weeks 1 and 2. I'm doing on Facebook because I've been off of that for 2 months. So now I've got.
I bet that was refreshing.
Well, you know, the nice thing is you really didn't miss anything. Nothing happened.
No,
right?
Nothing. There
Yeah.
was no.
Nothing at all. So my
picked a
last
good time
my last
to
day of
take-
sabbatical was
check
the
out.
Microsoft outage, on Friday. So my son bought a car, and we go up to the DMV to try to
no.
register it, and we get the signs like due
Sorry,
to.
Wally World's closed.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, okay, this is
Yeah.
welcome back. Maybe I'll just stay on sabbatical.
Yes, there were
Yeah,
several.
there was no national,
unprecedented events.
no national drama, so
Nothing.
goodness me,
No big
Yeah,
deal.
Yeah.
I know. I got a meme the other day that it said it was a picture of a sign. It said 0 days since unprecedented events. I was like, yeah, this is pretty standard anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome
my
to
goodness.
Crazyville.
Okay, so explain to the audience what you have been doing over the summer. What
Nothing.
did you do?
Nothing.
I like
That's
it.
the deal. Yeah. So it's an 8-week sabbatical. I was not allowed to be a pastor, so it was kind of weird. I essentially stayed out of Rogersville, and our church members were asked not to text me or call me, email me, and so all my emails were forwarded on to another pastor, and so I just got away. And as I was telling you all, it took about 2 weeks to
Yeah.
not want to work.
Yeah.
Which I kind of expected because I know how I'm wired.
Yeah.
But it's different than just working. When you've got storylines hanging, a possible cancer diagnosis, a certain cancer diagnosis, and not sure about treatment and whatever. And so,
Yeah.
it's weird to go, I really want to text that person.
And see what's
I
going
want to
on,
call them. I want an update. And so it's also an exercise of faith, right?
Yeah.
You're going,
Wow.
I was never had the capabilities of fixing anybody or anything anyway.
Yeah.
True.
I'm always called to prayer, but it's just nice when you're praying and supporting to be updated and to check in and to know how to pray. And so I just had to, as I thought of people, I would just leave it in the Lord's hands and pray for them and say, okay, well, I'll find out when I get back. And I've got a long list of people to call, like, how are you?
Yeah,
What's going
how are
on?
you doing?
You
Yeah.
come down from Mount Ararat with the Shekinah glory.
Right, yeah.
Radiating from your face. With
Should I have covered myself with a veil
With
today?
the third tablet.
I'm not that guy.
we got 5 new ones.
Yeah,
Fine.
yeah. So yeah, it took 2 weeks to kind of shut that part of my brain off and just be in the
Sure.
moment with my family, my friends that are not in the church. you know.
Yeah.
So reconnecting with people. Had a sabbatical coach.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So. A licensed counselor that just kind of coached Shayna and I through, he a former pastor who has
Yeah.
worked with a lot of pastors, had a pastor group that I met with on Friday mornings on Zoom call all over the nation, and just kind of doing
Cool.
the personal work,
Yeah.
just checking on self, when you're so used to checking on others. I won't say I neglected myself, but you don't ever get the chance to really pour into yourself
Yeah.
on that level.
No, it's true. Yeah.
So yeah, that was super helpful and fruitful. And
You seem refreshed. You
I am
do.
refreshed. Yeah,
You do.
yeah, really
You
am.
totally do.
Yeah, excited to get
Well,
back.
we're dragging because we've had to carry the show without you. For
Yeah.
Oh
2 months,
man!
so.
Well, let me
Time for you to
carry
pick
you
up
on.
the-
Yeah,
pick up the
carry you on
slack,
my back
Tyler.
today. I got you.
Oh my
I got
gosh.
you. So-
it was good. We had fun guests, so
We
it
did
was
have fun
good.
guests.
And the waffle waffled on.
You
like we
waffled.
always do. We waffled. We did.
Yeah.
There's waffling.
I didn't watch you once.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It was odd. Sunday, I had this moment of I'm going to get back on Facebook,
Yeah.
but I kind of didn't want to.
Want to, yeah.
Especially given some of the things that have been going on in the
Yes.
world. But yeah, that was a weird thing, both an excitement to be back and to see people, but also like, ugh.
You know, weirdly, I will say this, and maybe it's the channels that I'm algorithmed into. After the past couple of events, people seem to be less, and I'm not going to say people in general, but the people I'm seeing seem to be less jumping right in to say something. I think people are
Good.
giving it a
Maybe
little bit
people
of
are growing
thought.
up.
Now there's bots and all kinds of stuff that are not doing that.
Sure,
That they're
sure.
just jumping. But I don't know. It's been a little. The chatter's been a little quieter from what I've seen. I'm sure that's not the case for other people. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, so what I've done is I'm using Facebook on my computer,
Yeah.
but I've not reinstalled it on my
I
phone.
think that's smart, honestly.
It was weird the first couple of weeks how quickly I would look for different apps.
Yeah.
And go, what am I
have
doing? I don't have that. I deleted it from my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can exist without it. So I'm using it for work purposes. That's why I'm on my computer, but not my phone. And we'll see how long that lasts. But
yeah.
yeah, it's not a bad deal.
No, it's
Not
not.
a bad deal at all.
It's not. It's not a bad deal at all.
No, really interesting. I don't know that I would ever be able to have the opportunity to do that, but
See, I don't think I can either.
I don't know if I can manage it that way because of the way I use it for work.
Yeah.
But I also want to keep those personal boundaries for like wasted time. I don't want to waste time.
well, we all
Yeah.
make our own boundaries. Like my phone doesn't ring.
Yes.
You
Right.
can't call me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't accept phone calls on my cell phone. So
Yeah.
that's my boundary.
Well, and I mean, we are so connected that if you don't make some boundaries, you just kind of go crazy. You know, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, it's tricky. It's interesting. Oh, good morning, Beth. Had some tech difficulties. Couldn't comment. Chris, I like your clean cut self.
Okay, there's a vote. There's a vote for a shave and a cut.
Shaving 2 bits.
Buddy.
Yeah,
A
that's
Facebook
right.
poll. No.
Oh man, funny.
One
funny
vote.
stuff.
Yeah.
So can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
We live in a great part of the country.
We do. Absolutely.
I think I was up to not 25 states, just under 25 states, 23, 24, something like that. Got to see a lot of the country in these 8 weeks.
Well, that's
and,
good.
It is good to be in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Little
agree.
brag on our. They don't sponsor us, but I'm gonna say Sportsland
Yeah.
pickup covers. I went in there yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'd run into a used undercover truck bed cover, and I had the wrong brackets. And so that was one of my last kind of projects. I've had this thing for a while and just hadn't put it on my truck.
Yeah.
And of course, nothing goes according to plan when you try to
Never.
put something right. So
No.
I get it on, I think it's right, and then I discover I've got the wrong bracket. So I go in there. Actually, I got on the chat with Undercover online. Like, hey, how do I get this? And by the way, I'm in Rogersville. Can I just swing by the factory? Does
Yeah.
it work like that? They're
Yeah.
like, no, but Sportsland next door sells all of our stuff. So I go in there and I'm like, hey, here's the deal. I got these, whatever. And he goes, well, let me go look in the back. And I had found these little brackets. I needed 8 of them on eBay for $15 a pop. And if you knew what I'm talking about, there's no way they should be $15 a pop.
Yeah.
So the guy comes out and he's got a handful of them. He goes, you needed 8, right? And I'm like, yeah. And he hands me, he goes, there you go, bud. And I was like, yeah, how much do I owe you for them? He goes, man, we pulled this off of an old thing. We don't
That's
even use these
awesome.
anymore. You can just have them. And I'm like, seriously? He goes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're great. At
That was
Sportsland.
that
I've
was
had-
incredible. I was like, so it's just those are those little reminders, plus the perspective of having been out to the Northeast, which was beautiful. But
Yeah.
but we have good people here.
Yeah.
And it's just a great little pocket of the world to live in. So
I've had
if
the
you've been
exact same
annoyed with
experience.
your homeland, let me tell you, having traveled a bit this over the 8 weeks, you live in a good part of the world.
I've had
agree.
similar experience with Sportsland. They've been really good. If something pops out, they just like, let's stick it back in, fix
Yeah.
it, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take care of you.
I think there's a general desire to just if we can help somebody out here, we will, and it's no big deal, and you don't really owe anybody anything.
Nope, not gonna hang it over your head.
And no, and like
Gouge you.
yeah, here you go, and yeah, it's not a favor is not expected to be returned.
Right.
Yeah, I had somebody call me yesterday with a problem. And I was like, yeah, I can help you with that. That's no big deal. Well, how much do I need to pay you? I'm like, you don't need to pay me for that. And it's not even like it's like I can't imagine someone paying me for that.
Right.
Because that's just the right
Yeah.
thing to do is to spend 10 minutes writing an email.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
Right.
But I think that is ingrained here
Yeah.
in a lot of our people.
And not that it's not okay to make money off of your expertise. That's not my point. But
Yeah.
my point is there's
That's
just
community.
right.
Yeah, that is community. We had a lot of talk about community over like last week, and I think I want to challenge people to not just be in the communities they're comfortable in, but be in the community as a whole, if that makes sense. Like, don't it's easy to surround yourself.
Silo off, get in your little groups.
Yeah, it's easy to surround
Echo
yourself.
chambers even.
And I mean that doesn't say put yourself in harm's way. That's not good. You got to help make sure you're safe and your family's safe. But spread it out a little bit. Like talk to people that you don't talk to every day. Put yourself out there. I think that's important.
Well, and for our business, if there's something that doesn't cost us anything to help somebody, or isn't something that we're trying to sell, to make money.
Yeah.
Because when you sell information, everybody thinks information's free. Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was very, very,
Right.
very, very expensive.
Yeah,
To
took
obtain.
a lot to get to there. Yeah,
Took a
exactly.
Not only monetarily, but a lot of life and learning, right?
Yeah. So it didn't really work for information. But I see people all the time. I'm like, oh, is there a notary? Yeah, we're all notaries here.
Yeah.
At the law firm, we'll notarize. We won't charge you. You come if you need something notarized, come by. We'll stamp it. We'll notarize it for you. It doesn't cost us anything, but a little bit of our time. We're happy to do that.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the way small communities should work. If and I don't know, everybody's got their own boundaries, and I can't speak for you or what
Right.
your business should
Sure.
should or shouldn't do, or could or couldn't do. But I just think there's no reason why you have to, not everything has to be
Right.
a
No,
nickel.
Right,
no.
You don't have to get
Yeah,
a nickel
you
for
don't
everything
have-
you do.
Well, there's certain
Exactly.
things that I do as a pastor, premarital stuff or a wedding or things like that,
Yeah.
and it's not a part of my church job, and some people will give me money for something like
Yeah.
that, whatever. But can you imagine if a non-church member came in for spiritual advice and hey, make sure you put a little something in the coffers there
Yeah.
before you leave, like
Yeah.
that would just be weird.
It would
So,
be weird. It'd be
but-
like, oh, maybe I'm a little turned off by this.
yeah, but so it's just I do think we live in a town where people are glad to help, and it's a
so
beautiful
too.
thing.
And this is a weird conversation to wander into for me, because giving free legal advice.
Yeah.
Is,
Hey, can I ask you something real quick?
and honestly, my heart, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really don't mind answering legal questions, but I had to put that but on there. And it's not that the but's not that I mind, but it's that there is absolutely no way that you can rely on that. Hey, what do you think about this conversation? That's
exactly.
just not.
You gave me this much information, I
That's-
give you this much back. That is not
There's no substitute
a battle
you.
for what
Come
you're going
in,
into.
Yeah.
Let's
Or
sit
the-
down,
Yeah.
look at your entire situation,
Yeah.
really strategize something.
Yeah.
If it's hey, what do you think about this, or what's that thing, or who should I call? Man, I love that. I love that my friends and family and community will ask me and have some faith in me to give them some direction where to go.
I think direction's key.
I am
Some
more than
direction.
happy to do that.
Yeah.
Am I onto something here? But now the other thing is when I say, some people say, they did blah, 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 blah. And I go,
You're going to jail. Is that what you
well, sometimes I'll have people say, well, they did this, to me. So yeah, I can do this. I can sue them, right? I'm like, really, you don't have a claim at all. And then people,
Yeah.
they get mad at me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, hey, I'm sorry. I'm just the news bearer. I don't think you have a claim there.
Yeah.
Feel free to seek other free advice for that.
That's
But
funny.
It's tricky. Well, I think
I'm always happy to.
a lot of people are
whatever.
inclined to be looking for something a little deeper in a situation. Like, what can I get out of this? I've been wronged. What can I get out of this? And frankly, a lot of times there's just not anything to get. There's just not. It just
Well,
depends.
there's I don't know what to call it. There's grease everywhere, I suppose, but there's too much grease in the legal community right now. I think.
I think there's too much grease in a lot of communities.
Well, if you've been wronged between $5,000 and $25,000, or maybe even $50,000, you're just kind of out of luck.
It's crazy.
You're out of luck. You're going to spend as much on your lawyer
Yeah.
as you are just to get that back.
Right.
Yeah. And that comes up in real estate all the time. I mean, it's like,
Do I have a case?
This-
Maybe.
well-
You have a case,
but
you could.
what's it worth to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to fix your problem going down that path?
Yeah.
Probably
You-
not.
Yeah, you could
unfortunately.
get the lawyer or the mechanic or the lawyer or the
Yeah.
the home improvement guy. Might as well
Yeah.
just call the plumber or whatever.
And just
Just
take
deal with
care
it.
of it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely tricky.
So, I've actually been talking to some legislators about changing the small claims limits, because
There is
it's-
an issue there.
It's been,
Yeah.
you can only claim up to 5,000 on small claims right now and not have to hire a lawyer. You never have to hire a lawyer, but
Yeah.
the rules don't apply in small claims court. But that needs to be like 25,000, I think,
I don't disagree with that at all.
because
Because inflation.
yeah, because inflation, and that means that the AC court limit needs to go up to 100, and then that all those jurisdictional dollar amount limits need to be raised, just to make justice accessible to people again. Because we've got this swath right now of people that are damaged in that nebulous
Yeah.
realm where it costs more in
Fight
legal
it than it
fees
does. Yeah.
to get your harm remedied. And
Yeah, no, it's true. Well,
there's no
and then we've
fix.
got an issue of the people are not held accountable, right?
Right,
Because
yeah.
they're in that, they can just kind of get away with
Yeah.
it, and they know that.
Yeah, and I mean
know.
that's the problem is you probably do have some people out there that know that I can take people for 10 grand over and over and over and over and over again.
there's not much they can do. I
really
think
not
you
anything
absolutely
anybody
do.
can do about it.
I think you do.
Yeah, because there's just it's too much trouble.
Well, was there one place that you went or thing that happened that was just like, man, that was amazing? Or is it just kind of all pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, it was all really good. Honestly, week 2, my trip to Oklahoma City just to hang with my brother.
That's great, yeah.
Was fantastic. He's a police officer, lieutenant there. Was over the firing range, so I got a new little friend,
Pew, pew.
little Springfield 9, and so he, it's great to learn from the best. I mean, he's trained Oklahoma City's finest, and
That's
so
pretty
to be trained by him on how to use it was
Oh,
awesome. He's now over the aviation group, so we got to go up on a helicopter ride, and
fun.
that was really cool to do that. So that was a fun trip. But the big thing was my 2-week road trip with Shayna to just the two of us.
Oh,
2 weeks.
that's awesome.
I mean, our boys are turning 21 in 2 weeks. So that's how long it's
That's
been
crazy.
since the two of us have just gone and done something alone. Well, other than our trip to Israel. Let me take that
Yeah.
back. But so the trip to Maine was fantastic.
Cool.
I told Shayna we will go back to Maine
Yeah.
because we got an appetizer. It was a teaser. And
Yeah.
and the next time the road trip was awesome. I'm glad we did it.
That's a long
because
road
I got to see a lot of the country,
Yeah.
which I love. I love
Yeah.
Get a
driving.
lobster roll.
I got all the lobster.
Lobster.
I ate the lobster.
Yeah.
So I ate lobster every day. It was in Maine, and never get tired of it.
Yeah.
I missed wild blueberry picking by 2 weeks,
Oh, that's a
which sucks.
bummer.
But they still have like the blueberry pie.
Yeah.
I had the best blueberry pie I've ever had in my
I
life,
love good
and I had
blueberry pie.
blueberry ice cream every day I was there,
That's a good
just to keep
call.
my diet in check.
Yeah, I like it.
Wild blueberries are just on another level.
I can't. I really have never had
If
one.
you
I
gotta
imagine
go.
It's very different.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's ruined blueberries around here for me.
Yeah.
They're just like two different fruits altogether.
I-
Maine is on the list. You've just got to drive through all those nasty states to get
Well,
there.
that's what I told. So, and the drive was awesome. So we went to Chicago because my brother-in-law lives up there. So we stayed
Yeah.
at his place. Had 2 nights there. Chicago's a great city to visit. I wouldn't want to live there.
Right.
But it was fun, just kind of piling around there. Then we went to Niagara Falls, and it was Canada Day. And so
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw the
I was
fireworks
traveling to
over
Canada Day on Canada Day.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so we saw the fireworks
That's
over the
cool.
falls on Canada Day. And I think we did Niagara Falls right. Like, I can't imagine people spending a week there.
Yeah,
Clifton Hill is like Branson next to
what
the
I've
falls.
heard, yeah.
It just that would not do it for me. And all the
Yeah.
like the boat ride, sure, the zip line, whatever. But we just showed up, looked at the falls, took pictures, saw the fireworks, ate dinner. That was our one like expensive meal.
Yeah.
We paid for the view. Like
Yeah.
the steak was okay, but we
Yeah.
paid for the view. It was we could see the anyway. So yeah, and then we got up the next morning and drove to New Hampshire. And
Yeah.
and like that was it. And so
Yeah.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool too. Went to a winery. Went to the beach. New Hampshire has this little
love it.
beach that's this beautiful sand beach, and
Yeah.
and then we got the next day and drove to Maine, and
That's cool.
but Maine was phenomenal. And so the next
I'd
time
like to
we
go to
go, as much as I enjoyed the driving and seeing all the states, we got a teaser. So I will fly into either Portland,
Spend
Maine,
some
or
time.
fly into Boston and drive up there and spend a week there.
Wow.
Because we just didn't get to experience it all.
It is mind blowing to me how close a lot of the stuff in the Northeast is.
Oh, once you're there, it's just one big city.
I
That's
didn't
all it is.
understand that. And until I drove out to Pennsylvania, and I was like, wait, we're only 30 minutes from Philadelphia and 45 minutes from New York. Or I can't remember
Yeah,
what it
that
was now.
seems nuts.
That's
It is.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that until we were there, and I started looking at, Google Maps, and I was like, holy crap, we're close to, like, everything.
Everything, yeah.
I had no idea.
So Shayna's got a friend in Brooklyn, so we stayed 2 nights in Brooklyn on our way. We went Boston, Brooklyn.
That's cool.
And so then we, drove through Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC's right there. We didn't go into DC, but and then it made our trip. So, yeah, it was great.
neat.
Did a wine tour for Shayna in New Hampshire. Then our last stop was the Old Forester Distillery in Louisville for
That's
me on the
cool.
way back. And so those were 2 neat experiences as
That's-
well.
it's-
So we
it's
just took in a
interesting
lot.
to me thinking about that, how adaptable humans are, because I have 2 thoughts. One, I had a lawyer come in and visit us one time. Oh, it was probably 20 years ago, from California, and we drove her down to Branson to Landry's for
Yeah.
just a meal, and she's just like, what is this? Like, it's like there's just like nothing here. It's just like trees and stuff like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's never seen. She had
am I
never seen
looking at?
anywhere that wasn't just all asphalt
And where was she from?
and concrete. Somewhere in California,
Yeah,
LA
yeah.
area.
That says New Hampshire's
And then-
kept secret. It's gorgeous.
It is absolutely beautiful.
And I was just thinking, as you were talking about being in Brooklyn, I got anxiety, Gen Z level anxiety, just hearing the word Brooklyn, because to me, to be in a city like that,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would feel so trapped.
So
Like I can't get to the ground where I know I'm safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shayna wanted to visit one of her childhood friends who lives in Brooklyn. And I had anxiety about driving into the city.
Sure.
And she was misreading that as like I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, no.
No, I'm
I'm
kinda-
nervous
yeah.
about the drive into the city.
Yeah.
Once I'm thrilled to go do this, but I was and it was intense.
Oh, I can only
driving in and out of the city. Once we got there, we're fine because when we basically our own tour guide, local who, could get us around the subway and show us around the city, and I felt great. And by the way, in New York City, like some authentic Korean food. Her husband's Korean.
Oh, okay.
And so we kind of hit that and
I
tasted
can
some.
only
Yeah,
imagine.
it was fantastic.
I'll bet it was.
So
Yeah, that sounds.
the food. This is why we took this trip. It was for the food.
The food.
Everything was about the
That's-
food.
That's where I am at.
For me, there's no reason to travel but for food.
Food.
That's why we travel.
That is
for
exactly
the
why we
food.
traveled. It was so funny. Like our kids were like, "Is this all you're doing? Is eating?"
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yes.
Yeah.
We on the Canada trip, we walk everywhere that we could possibly walk when we're traveling. Jesse and I do, and we eat. That's what we do. We walk around, we see things, we come across. We don't plan too much usually, and we eat. And the girls, like halfway into the trip, are like, "We're walking a lot," and I'm like,
And we're eating a lot.
This is what your mom and dad do. Like we walk everywhere we could go and we eat. They're like, okay, and they're like adapted. They're like, we
Yeah.
can do this too. And
Sounds
then,
all right.
but by the end of it, they were like, we should walk over there.
Oh yeah, right, Beth. Yeah, big barns.
Yeah, the Northeast
Cows
is
got somewhere to
Somewhere
stay.
in the bitter cold.
Yeah.
Like
That is
big
one
barns.
interesting thing to me. Like, I don't think farming and stuff when I think Northeast, but like part of New York is all farming.
New
And
York
it-
is a beautiful state.
Yeah, and
It's
I've
too bad they have
never-
that big city that is
Yeah.
Yeah,
monstrosity.
Scab on the side.
Yeah, the state itself is gorgeous. I mean, driving through the Finger Lakes region, and then just we kind of skirted the Adirondacks, but yeah, you could spend a
I'm
month
gonna
in that
have to- I'm
state
gonna
and
have
not
to
see
do a
everything.
Northeast trip at some
Yeah,
point
it's on the
in my life.
list. We definitely want to go.
I've got to.
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll go back like September, October,
Yeah.
and really hit it. During
Yeah.
that fall season.
Speaking of walking and eating, Shelby and I took a Friday, maybe not last Friday, but Friday before last. We've got Silver Dollar City season passes.
Yeah.
We just went down there. It was a rainy. We were driving in the rain down there.
Yeah.
Which is the right time to go. You got to time it, because you're looking at it. You're like, it's raining. It's raining.
People are
You see
leaving.
The afternoon's it's going to clear off. So nobody's in the park.
It's that sweet spot.
Yeah, you hit the sweet spot. Yeah, Harley. I'll bet that's right, Rick.
Hey, Rick, I thought of you on a couple drives on that trip and thought, man, Rick on his bike would just be in heaven right now.
So we went down there and we got the tasting passes.
Yeah.
And we just got one, and it was just Shelby and I. We just walked around, holding hands, going to the different shops, eat this, and that's all we did. We just ate. We just walk here, eat this, walk here, eat that, walk here, eat that. We had a great day. And I want to say I've been to theme parks. I've been to Disney World and all those things, and Six Flags and all that. The Hershens do it right.
They do.
I mean,
100%,
those
yes.
parks are a next level.
They're
And
neat.
did I see
better
that they're
than
they're
anything else.
moving Whitewater to be next door
I
to
don't
Silver
know. I
Dollar
hadn't
City?
heard that.
What?
I think that's right.
What?
That they're going to build.
What?
It'll
Breaking
kind of.
news on Planet 417 right here from Chris
I heard that
Ballard.
from a local in Branson a few weeks ago while we were down there visiting a
Interesting.
church on
Send a
sabbatical.
text.
Check it out and see if fact check
find
me on this.
anything?
But I think they're trying to
gonna-
compete with that whole Disney Epcot thing. Like you got two parks in
Yeah.
one, or like Six Flags has the water
That's
thing.
interesting.
But
Get a monorail.
yeah, maybe. But
Epic.
well, and the way he framed it, I don't know how true this is, but was this idea of people are getting tired of the craziness of
Yeah.
Disney and they want a different
Oh, my Lord, and it's
experience for their
expensive. Holy
for their
moly.
family.
Well,
yeah.
I love that people are finally getting tired of the crazy.
I think
At
people
some
are
point,
getting
it's
tired of
gotta
the crazy.
give. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, this is-
we had last night we had our a second open house for Legacy Prep School over at Harmony Baptist Church for our new Christian co-op homeschool cooperative program. And we had so many people there. I mean,
That's
so
great.
many people are interested in what we're offering there with, an alternative to, and never hear me speak ill of Logan Rogersville schools.
Yeah,
'Cause
Yeah,
I will
those are
not.
great
I will not.
schools.
We have great schools here.
Yeah.
But for other folks around, it's really cool to have an opportunity to have Christian education, not indoctrination. Because Springfield is the San Francisco of the Ozarks.
Well, and my perspective on it is it's really weird now to me. Of course, I didn't have kids until I had kids, so I don't know what it used to be like. But it very much, I feel like there's a lot of families, especially if you have chosen to have a larger family, like where you have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Okay. Navigating public school with that many kids is difficult. It really is, because you're spending so much time getting point A to point B and then doing this activity in this club that you really find yourself just kind of running. And I think a lot of people are choosing a different type of education because
To simplify, is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
to not maybe have so much of their day, and not just their time spent, because they're still doing activities and sports and all that stuff, but have it not so stringent of a schedule, because that's the thing that I get into in the school year, where a week goes by and I'm just like, where did that go? Like, and I don't even put my kids in that much stuff. So I'm currently, though, this is pretty hilarious, and this is something I want to communicate to people. So Clara wanted to do a team activity, and I said, okay. And, my nephew Nolan has been doing Little League, and I said, and JR, who coaches him, said, why don't you just have Clara do a season of Little League? They're short, 6 weeks. It's not a huge commitment.
My SDC source just replied, I love rumors.
Oh, it's a rumor.
It could be.
We'll see.
I will. Well, it was part of a real estate tidbit, so
Yeah,
maybe there's something brewing they're just not talking about yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, Claire will do Little League. That sounds great. And like, it's limited, it's not something she's probably going to want to do for the next 5 years now, but it gives her the opportunity to do a team sport thing. And it also gives me the opportunity not to be 100% involved in it all the time. So I signed her up for Little League, and it's super cheap. It's like $100 registration. And we all know there's a whole lot more sports programs more expensive than that. Well, I'm rapidly getting into about $200 to $300 investment in this Little League thing.
Yeah, I thought I needed a glove, and now I need
and now,
the batting gloves.
And they're not even asking. It's just obvious that that's what I'm going to have to do. And it really has me thinking. I was at the Wildcat Closet yesterday. I've spent a lot of time there over the past couple weeks getting ready for the shoe giveaway. And we've got a line of baseball pants about this big at the closet right now, on the rack. And I'm like, how are kids who don't have extra income in their houses participating in sports right now? How are they doing it? And I'm like,
Wildcat Closet.
Yeah, well, I'm like,
making it happen.
Our sport, we probably need, and this is something I even thought about emailing the AD, we probably need a sports equipment bank in Rogersville. Something to bounce off, like a place where, because the kids grow out of the stuff so fast, and some of it gets used, and it's not reusable.
Right.
But I mean, some of these baseball pants looked brand new.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, how could we continue to encourage these kids that don't have extra income? And I know boosters and stuff help with that, to continue to play sports. Because it's really become very expensive, even on a small level.
Well, we as soccer coaches have a strong belief that it should not cost anybody, anything to play a sport in a public school setting. And so there are certain things like practice jerseys, it's $20 for each, and you got to get 3 of them, one of each colors, but we've always said, and if that's a problem, let us know. And we always find ways to help kids. And we have people that will, donate, like, hey, I'll buy practice jerseys or whatever, or let me know. And we have a whole bucket full of cleats. So my boys have turned in cleats that they don't wear anymore, and they're just, so you need a pair of boots, here you go. We've got them for you in the bin. And so, in fact, that happened last week. We did a little scrimmage against Catholic, and a kid showed up that never played before, and he's like, well, I kind of like to try. And so, all right, what size do you wear? And so we do have some of that. It's just kind of on the DL a little bit, but we just kind of let people know, like, if you need something. But that's at the high school level.
And it may be it may be getting to a point where it needs to be a more organized effort, just because of things like inflation, where you used to be able to get this stuff pretty reasonable, and and Rogersville doesn't have a large city rec system. They do some, but it's not big.
Right.
And that's where a lot of kids in bigger areas are able to play, is because it's bigger city rec stuff that's not super expensive. And we don't exactly have that here. We have it smaller level.
It would be sad for any young person to feel like they couldn't play because their parents said, well, we can't afford it. Or we can't afford the equipment.
We can't afford to do something like Little League.
We don't want that to happen here.
No, we don't. So anyway, that was something that kind of really, well, I was talking to a mom who was dropping stuff off too. And she was, whose kids are very involved in sports, and she was talking about the same problem. So just food for thought out there. I think there could be some needs met probably that, pretty easily, I think is my thought. So
good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, Chris, glad you're back.
Good to be back.
Lauren's still here.
Be back.
I'm still here.
Still here.
We're still here.
Rogersville's still here.
We're still
here.
waffling.
Doing great with the splash pad.
Yeah.
The only person we're not sure still here is the president.
Yeah. Funny, not funny.
We don't have proof of life.
0 days as unprecedented events.
Oh boy!
What a
But
mess.
we'll see what happens.
But
with
yeah,
that.
we do. We have a splash pad now. It's really cool. Long
It looks
time coming.
amazing. Love
It's
seeing the
long
videos.
time.
Yeah.
When we did the 5K this last time, I was at the park and I gazed out upon the spot that I've gazed out upon many times, and I thought, this looks completely different than it did when I moved here.
Yep.
And that's exciting.
Credit
and
to you
that's-
and a lot of others that have put time and effort into
Yeah.
that project. It is a park to be proud of. And
Yeah, it is.
we can continue to build that.
It's
you
a
know?
neat. It's become a neat thing.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. And the mayor sent out his letter that he sends out, and it says in there, right there, the population's now gone over 5,000.
Wow.
And there's 600 parcels in various levels of development.
Dirt moving right here at Jamestown
Yeah,
this
I'm wondered
week as
about
I came
this.
back. I'm
Yes.
excited. It was,
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
yeah, some new streets will be in, and next thing you know, those lots will be sold, and then hopefully homes will be coming up.
Yep.
So,
Big
So,
things are happening.
love it.
Things are afoot at the Circle K.
Strange things afoot at the Circle K. There were some Circle Ks out east, and
Is that
I
right?
couldn't drive by one without quoting Bill and Ted's
Bill and Ted.
Adventure.
Gen X for the win.
That's right.
We'll be back next week with more Waffle. Thanks for
bye,
watching.
guys.